that was silly, ridiculous, a waste of time. They didn't want that's why they were so successful. That's why they got away.
I've made a living in very dangerous.
This is really an integrated blend society.
Dianne Andrews in black and white.
Hi, this is Ellen, and I'm here to talk about Fiji's Totes. This is a wonderful dog bed. I cannot say enough good things about it. And the crazy thing is that it's just a dog bed, but it's so much more than that. As you can see, my dog Bailey is perfectly comfortable and happy. What's so great about this pillow and why I decided that I had to talk about it was because I had spent so much money on dog beds. Every month I was buying a new dog bed, $50, $60. The next month, another one because it would get stinky and I couldn't clean it. And finally when I met, well, I'd already known Miss Dianne, but when she told me about her dog pillows and how great they were, I was like, I need to get one. You just throw it in, wash it, and then let it air dry, and it's perfect. You can vacuum it in between, and it's just amazing. I can't say enough good things.
We've got 27 color combinations. We've got purple and gold, we've got blue and gold, we've got black and gold. We've got all the color combinations for Louisiana and most places. Welcome to Dianne Andrews in black and white. I'm your host, Dianne Andrews, and the co-host is running around here somewhere, Fuji Andrews. You'll see him in a minute, my little white poodle, as you all know. We'll see our website up here on the screen, and you'll also see my YouTube channel. Please subscribe, and you'll see some of the 250, 300 shows that I've done over the years. I always try to bring interesting topics, but people who need to be known, and heard, whether you agree with them or not. It's always good to have a stimulating conversation with people who are in the community trying to help in the way they think is a good way to help. The man I'm going to talk to today, Mr. Duncan, is called the jailhouse lawyer. But before that, he was called the Snickers lawyer. And we'll talk about that when we meet with him in a moment. And in Angola, people may not have money to pay you, but they might find other ways to pay you. And his plight is a long plight. But he said from where he came in Desire Projects was hell, and going to Angola was a paradise. I don't think you've ever heard that before. We'll explain that to you in this show. Come on back and hear this man's journey from Desire Projects to now on the international stage. He's a lawyer, and he learned law and taught law and helped hundreds of people in Angola, and has been said to be the best legal mind that ever came through Angola. A lot of people are innocent in Angola, and you'll know I do a series on Angola. Come on back to Dianne Andrews in black and white, and hear Mr. Calvin Duncan. Hello, this is Fuji Totes. I'm making a little video for you to see how the pillow works with the doggy in it. As you see, Fuji's in here, in the bottom of this. At the end, after I take him out, I'm going to take all the things that are in here with him. I have driven all the way to Las Vegas, Nevada, and taken Fuji and my other dog, my Montague, with me with their meds, their leashes, their water, cup, and whatever. In one pack, a couple of packs of food are in the bottom of this. He had a plate though. He had the COVID test, as I laugh about. He had a heavy leash. He has a water bottle. He has some food. And another leash. This pillow only weighs about 3 pounds. So whatever you need in your necessities are for your dog can go in here, along with the dog as you carry him wherever you want to go. Welcome back to Dianne Andrews in black and white. Thanks for being with me, Mr. Calvin Duncan.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Now, if I Google New Orleans right now and try to find out how many Calvin Duncans are there in the city, I wonder how many I'd get.
There's a lot of Calvin Duncans, but mine would probably pop up, showing up.
It
because
did. It did. I did it already. And it says you may be looking for the Calvin Duncan, who is now an attorney and was a jailhouse lawyer at Angola. Your name pops up. Let's talk about what happened to you. You were a young kid. You were in the Desire Project. Your mother died. You moved from relative to relative to relative around. And you were going to the Job Corps and everything. You wanted to go in the Job Corps. Were you even in the vicinity of where Mr. David Yeager and 23 and his younger girlfriend, a teenager, were that night? Were
No.
you in that vicinity? How did then they think that you did it just because somebody called and said that a black man, Calvin Duncan, did it? And the teenage girl with Mr. Yeager, I think, said there were 2 assailants that night. Is that correct?
Yeah, they was at a bus stop in August of 1981.
Mm-hmm.
2 guys approached them, demanded money, and they wound up killing them.
And it was said 2 black guys.
It was according to the witnesses, it was two black people approached them, and a young lady, she watched her boyfriend be murdered.
That's traumatic.
So they didn't have any suspects at the time, so they reenacted the crime and published it on Crime Stopper, and they asked the community that if you know anybody that's responsible for the murder, you could call Crime Stopper and get up to $1,000 reward. We learned later that somebody did call Crime Stopper and say that it was a Negro male named Calvin Duncan. They didn't say Calvin Duncan age, they didn't say complexion, they just said Negro male named Calvin Duncan. Because I was in the system as a kid, I got arrested when I was 14, and I generally say I always I ruined my life when I was 14 years old, shoplifting for clothes.
But it was clothes for school. You didn't have anything to wear to school.
Yes.
Yes.
And so as a result of that,
so your sister too, right? Your younger sister.
Yes, taking care of my sister
Yes.
because my mom died when I was 7.
Yeah.
My sister was 6, and we bounced around from family to family. And
What about your father?
well, he went and started another life after my mom had passed. So I didn't get to really know him until I was like probably 17. And so shoplifting for clothes.
Yeah.
I got busted
For school.
For school. And they took a mug shot. And because of that mug shot, I always say that had I not got caught and had to shoplift, I would never have had a mug shot, and I never would have been misidentified. So after the person called Crime Stop and said that it was a Negro male, being that my mug shot was already in the system, according to the government case, they presented a photographic lineup to the young lady. And according to the government case, she positively identified my photograph.
That's a young lady with Mr. Yeager who had previously said the guy was 5'10", light-skinned, and stocky.
Yeah.
She changed her story 3 times. She was young. She was a teenager.
She was very young.
She probably wasn't a great witness. And she was in trauma.
Exactly.
You see your
exactly.
guy sit there and be shot down and robbed, probably for $50, if that much.
Yeah, she and according to the government case, she picked my photograph and said that I was the one that was responsible.
I saw that on Wikipedia. Yeah, but that was after a 3rd or 4th changing of stories of what the man looked like.
Yeah.
So anyway,
it.
But did that person, whoever called it in, did they get $1,000 for you because they gave the name?
I don't know.
They may have. I bet they when they pick you up and they saw it on the paper, they probably call and say, "I gave you that identity."
For many years, I even questioned whether somebody actually called it.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So, but you say that may be one of the worst things that happened to you, but you also have said, I went from hell on the streets to paradise, and you wouldn't be where you are today. So if you could do it over, this is what I wanted to ask you, Mr. Duncan. If you could do it over, would you not go to Angola?
When you say if I
do
could
it over,
what, over,
like the mugshot, not steal at 14, which caused you mugshot to be in the system.
So had I had help as a kid,
yeah,
I wouldn't have had the shoplift. And
right.
If my parents were still, if my mom was still living,
yeah,
I would never have had the shoplift, and I would never have had a photographic photo
in the system. Right.
And so, as a young kid growing up in the Desire Project area,
one of the poorest in Louisiana.
Yes, and being shuffled around from family to family, my life as a kid wasn't very nice.
Right.
And so, one of the things that I knew that back then it was that we knew as kids we was going to either go to prison at a young age or get killed at a young age.
So do you think Angola kept you from getting killed on the streets maybe when you said I went from hell to paradise in Angola?
So I wouldn't say it that way. What happened Angola should never have been an option, period. It's just the way our government, our system is operate, and the way we grew up. You know, in the book, it talks about the book, The Jailhouse Lawyer, this prison song that we used to sing when we was kids. And we grew up singing that song, not knowing that they had a system that was going to make that song our reality. So when you ask if I would have done it different, yes. What I would have done different is I would have went to a grown-up at school. I would have explained my situation. And I would have tried to got help. And that's what I generally tell young people, that whatever they're going through, consult, get with somebody that's older than them, as opposed to your peers, and with the hope that they would help you navigate the trauma and that you may have been
Because it's so many black kids now, since 65 to 70% of our black kids grow up in a matriarchal society. We have no father in the home for black boys.
Yes, and the trauma that, you know, that I could speak about that because in prison, we used to have these group sessions, and we try to figure out where did we go wrong, being from good kids to then kids that have to shoplift for food and clothes. What happened? And we all came to the same conclusion that a lot of the trauma happened in our own home.
From the lack of a daddy, or for domestic violence in the home, all those kinds of elements happen to the children. A lot of them who are in Angola, the boys. A lot of them, a lot of them. And there's enough science out there that says what happened to a kid mind, brains, when they're exposed to all this constant trauma after trauma after trauma. That's why so many people that's in prison is in prison for drug addiction. Some people in prison for not being able to manage their anger. Anger management is a big problem.
And so when you ask, you know, what I would have done different, and I always kind of I always kind of like, not I like it, but in prison, I kind of hated the fact that I wasn't mature enough.
How old were you when you went in?
19. I was 19 years old.
But you immediately, and we're going to talk about that later with some other people on the series I'm doing, Angola is not always a death sentence. Because a lot of people get out of Angola and do great things to help the community and to definitely help pull the community in Angola. And a lot of people, I understand, you all know who's innocent out there and who's guilty. I'm sure the inmates know, right? You helped so many people. When I made the joke about the Snickers, because they paid you with Snickers, they didn't have any money. You couldn't get the records from the criminal clerk of courts because you need $1 a page, I was reading, and some of them go up to 1,000 pages. And it's we're going to skip some to what happened with you. You won after you were innocent. You're innocent. You're exonerated from this crime. In 2025, you run for the criminal clerk of courts, the people who put you in prison, and then the state legislature deletes the position. There's no criminal clerk of courts in New Orleans anymore. Correct?
Correct. So once I got arrested and the government position that I should be executed.
Executed?
Yes.
I thought you got life without parole.
The government position was that I should be executed.
Really?
I was indicted for first-degree murder, which carries the death penalty.
Back then, we still carry it here, don't we?
Yes, Louisiana still. And also, and they put me on this unit, this tier with people, the guys that already had been sentenced to death. And as I was telling them that I didn't commit my crime, they was telling me that you're going to get found guilty nevertheless, and they're going to execute you because the victim in your case is white, the witness in your case is white, and you also have the same lawyer I had the same lawyer they had, same judge, and same prosecutor. And they told me that my lawyers was not going to come see me.
Because that was one of those non-paid lawyers, right, that are supplied by the government because you didn't have money to pay for a lawyer.
Yeah, there was public
defenders, right?
Court-appointed lawyers that was not, that program wasn't funded properly. And it was right. My lawyers didn't come to see me until the night of my trial.
The night of the trial.
The night the night before my
Yeah.
trial.
Yeah.
And
So they knew nothing about who you really were.
they
and
didn't
what
know
really
anything
happened.
about the case either.
Right. Yeah.
Because there was no investigation done. They only came to see me to determine if I had a suit to wear. And the next day I went to
I
trial.
read that, yeah.
And again, the government argued to the jury that I should be executed. However, the jury rejected the death penalty
A 19-year-old first, well, it wasn't your first
and
offense.
recommended that I be sentenced to life in prison.
In Angola.
And I was sentenced to life in prison.
Mhm.
Then
With no parole.
without parole,
That's
probation, or suspension of sentence.
So tell me, how did you get from that to getting exonerated?
So so as I was saying that, they was telling me I was going to be executed.
Yeah.
And I asked them, how could I help myself? And then
Mhm.
that's when they told me that I had to become a lawyer.
Who told you that that was good?
Yeah.
Your public defender told you that?
No, the people that had already been sentenced to
The
death,
black guys in Angola.
and white guys.
I mean, white guys should.
Now they ain't going to the parish
In the
jail,
parish, okay.
because they had been found guilty. They had the same prosecutor, same lawyer.
So they were on
same-
their way to Angola.
They was on their way to death row.
Mm-hmm.
And so they said I had to become a lawyer, but
Mhm.
with very limited legal material access to that. I started trying to study law to save myself from the death penalty.
Did you already have a desire for law? It seemed like you did, the way you took it on so quickly, you learned so quickly, criminal law, and you helped hundreds of people, it seems like, in Angola, didn't you?
No, so the only desire I had as a kid was just getting in trouble.
Oh, okay.
Other than as a kid getting in trouble, shoplifting for clothes and food, no. But once I got in prison,
Yeah.
and then listening to other people's stories, other people being in prison that was innocent, and me trying to learn the law, and I fell in love with the law.
Yeah, you seem
And
to.
so that encouraged me. Really, I wanted to, even back then I knew I wanted to be a lawyer.
Did you?
Not just to help myself, but to help other people as well.
So, but not before 19, not before this happened. It was
No.
after those guys told
Yeah.
you what they did, and you realized how many people are wrongly in, not just Angola, in prisons, period.
This in prison, being arrested,
Right.
and the public defenders,
Right.
they're not having the family can't hire a lawyer really to
Right. Too
represent
expensive.
them.
Yeah.
And so listen to those guys telling me
It
their
changed your
story.
life. That's right.
I'm like, well, I could learn the law. I
Yeah.
could try to help myself and help them as well.
And you
that's
did.
what I took on that journey. But after I was sentenced to life and transferred to Angola,
Yeah.
I applied for this job with legal program. The title of our job was the inmate counsel substitute. And I applied for it and I was granted it.
Yeah.
And so I was in Angola 24 years, 23 years. I was a counsel sub.
And you're a trustee also, weren't you?
19 of those
Yeah.
years, I was actually assigned to assist people that had actually been sentenced to death.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to help them, help people that shouldn't be in prison because they're innocent. Trying to get access to their documents
Uh-huh.
was a problem for us, especially the cases from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
We would write letters. We would write countless of letters, just trying to find out what was going on in our cases, trying to get the police reports, and then they passed all these laws giving us deadlines.
Mm-hmm.
And so fast forward, an intern, her name is Emily Bolton, she was a Tulane intern.
Yes, so there. Yeah.
She came to the prison and we was explaining to her that a lot of us was in prison for things that we didn't do,
Mm-hmm.
but we couldn't get access to our records.
Right.
And a lot of us was in prison for things that they committed their crime,
Right.
but they wasn't afforded a fair trial.
Mm-hmm.
She promised that once she graduated, she was going to come help us. And that's how the New Orleans Innocent Project was created.
You're one of the founders of that, aren't you?
I am a co-founder of the New Orleans
Do you remember
Innocent
me
Project.
now? We met
Yes.
at Goodwood Library
Yeah,
last year.
exactly.
Yeah. I don't think we exchanged names though.
Yeah.
We just
And so without the Innocent Project, we was condemned, especially people from New Orleans. We just couldn't get our
what is it
record.
about New Orleans?
So in New Orleans criminal court, the clerk office,
Mhm.
they did not electronically scan their records. They didn't preserve their records. So the records would be lost.
Didn't they lose a lot in Katrina, I'm sure, with all that paper?
They lost a lot of Katrina. They lost a lot before Katrina.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens is when they lose those records, not only was they losing records or destroying records or misplacing records,
Mhm.
they was also losing the evidence, misplacing evidence. And
You think some on purpose?
Well, it was an inadequate system, deliberately inadequate, because all the other parishes,
It's computerized.
everywhere else.
Yes.
And so when they lose the evidence, what happens is that 20 years later, when evidence is discovered, they realize that they have the wrong person in prison.
Right.
And so in prison, that was our plight, trying to get at records to demonstrate to the court that we innocent. And the Innocent Project was created to help us do
You
just
and how
that.
many other men started the Innocent Project?
Well, so it was not just me; it was the council sub, because we saw when we would read people records, we would see from their records that they're innocent. It's just that we don't have the information that we need to present.
How many inmates are at Angola now?
I think probably like 3,000
Yeah.
right now.
And you would think how many, if you had to just take a guess, 30% of them are innocent, maybe 900 people?
I don't try to put a guess on it. It's
Yeah.
just that we should, if it's one innocent person
It's
in
one
there,
too many,
it's
yeah.
too many.
But
And
you met
so-
a lot. And you helped,
A
about
lot.
how many people did you help get out?
I helped a lot of people.
Yeah?
But again, our struggle was getting access to the documents.
Number one, you don't have the money to pay for it.
We
And
don't
number
have
two,
the
they
money to
lost
pay,
him.
because you know that Louisiana is the incarceration capital of the world.
Yeah, and
We
Angola was the most
incarcerate-
dangerous prison in the world at one time. Is it still?
Well,
Is it still considered? I
the
don't think
mental
it is anymore.
part is still there.
Yeah,
You're talking about the physical
yeah,
part.
that's gone.
By the
Captain.
time that I got to Angola, things wasn't as crazy as it was back in the 60s.
Yeah.
And so they had this program that would actually allow us to help each other legally.
Which is a really good thing, I thought. They seem to have a lot of good programs. Because I've been out there a couple of times. I do a series with Eric Lane on oil and gas. We do a series on that, and I've been out there a couple of times with him. I've been to the warden's house with them, and I've talked to a lot of the inmates, and I've interviewed, Chico 2 or 3 times, and Justin Singleton. And I've interviewed some more inmates. In fact, I have a picture with, I'll put it on the screen, with when we put it up, the show, with the trustees. I took a picture with them at Angola at the rodeo last year. And I'm looking at these guys, they look just like, you wouldn't think that, and a couple of them had committed murder. And they told me this guy, they brought him to me, they said, this guy's innocent. One guy said, I'm not innocent. He said, but he is. So that's why I asked you, inmates know who's innocent and who's not innocent.
What the older guys realized before we came to prison was that because of trauma, the abuse kids experience, that they witnessed, and I witnessed this myself when we grow up. It always looked like at that age 24, we mature mentally, and then we start educating one another. We start
And you
helping
were
each
already
other.
in prison by that age.
Exactly.
At 19, you were in prison.
Yeah, so I
You matured in prison.
exactly. I went to those programs provided by the older guys in prison.
A lot of wisdom in Angola, isn't
It's
it?
a lot. It's just it's a shame that Louisiana lock up so many people
I
when they
thought
in
they
that.
cut down some on that. Is it still the same?
It's still the same
Still the
because why? We rely
The money.
on.
And the
We
work
provide
they do up
jobs.
there, right? Yeah.
It's not so much the work.
Uh-huh.
We provide jobs in rural areas.
The prisoners go
The
out.
pri-
That's what
no,
I meant. They
no.
still go out, right?
No, the prison employs
Uh-huh.
a lot of people.
Oh, just those
The
people.
employees.
Yes, of the prison.
That's right. So
When I was a little girl up in North Louisiana, doesn't matter Angola, but they used to have the guys on the railroad. They'd be chained together in orange suits, and they'd actually do work. They would do
Yeah.
the streets. They would manage the railroad tracks. They don't do that anymore, do they?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. If
And I guess
do
they
it.
pay, a penny a day or something for doing
No.
all that work.
Yeah, a penny an hour.
Mhm.
So the big thing is that we rely on people to be arrested and prosecuted
To
and-
keep
and-
the people employed in Angola.
Employed,
It's
so-
18,000 acres.
It
It's a beautiful campus
Yes.
on the Mississippi River. It's hilly. Used to be an Indian reservation, I think, or something.
It used to be a slave plantation.
a slave plantation before. The Angola is where the name came from.
Yes.
Angola
It was
and
where
Angola,
people
Africa.
Was
Yeah.
enslaved from
Yeah.
Africa would be
Yeah,
enslaved there.
yeah.
So fast forward, about the programs.
Yeah.
We tried to help each other, you know, one generation after the next generation, because we realized that with an immature mind, some people, you know, they're young, they're disillusioned about life, they're on drugs, but with a little, you know, help, assistance, mental health treatment.
Do they provide that up there?
Yeah,
Mental health treatment?
Mental health treatment is provided by the institution, but we help each other, and with that help and kindness, we grow up and we be very productive. And so that's why the programs existed, and I hope that it's always existed, so when people could.
Well, they even train, like they have jobs they can get outside because they have learned expertise and skills up there, right? I saw a lot of the German shepherds that they train for the police department,
like welding, carpentry,
HVAC,
plumbing,
HVAC. Yeah.
They clean up the hospital. That is hospice work. Those are the skills that they, when they come home, they can actually
live off of. They can make
actually
a living.
be employed.
Yeah.
And so with the help with the Innocent Project, a lot of people.
How many people, I saw the bus when you had them at Goodwood Library. How many people busts have you done now of the Innocent Project?
So I don't do the bus, but it's quite a few. I don't keep.
I know you don't make them. Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah,
it was
it's a
like
lot.
30 on that wall that day?
Yeah, it probably was.
Yeah.
It's a lot of us.
So as more people get out, they become part of it? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Oh,
And the reason
innocent.
why that is done is to remind society, the people on the outside, that our criminal legal system could get it wrong.
Yes.
And they get it wrong at a rate that's unbelievable.
In this state.
In spite of the fact that people think that if you're arrested for a crime, you must have done it.
Yeah, that's not true.
So when Emily Bolton came and started the Innocent Project, and then we got some help to get the documents we need. The record shows how many people.
She's a practicing lawyer now in New Orleans, isn't she?
Well, no, she's back in England. That's Emily Bolton. And so fast forward, they accepted my case.
Yeah.
And I ultimately got out January 7, 2011.
You know, I thought it was a coincidence too. The murder of David Yeager happened August 7th, I think, of 1981. They arrested you August 6th of 1982. I said, well, in Oregon, right? You in the Job Corps. And they got you out of Oregon and brought you back to New Orleans.
Yeah.
And
Trying to not to be a statistics of that dying at a young age, getting killed at a young age, and going to prison at a young age. I left.
But at least you didn't get on drugs.
No, thank God.
You eliminate that one.
Yeah,
that's a bad thing.
Thank God for that.
Where can they get the book? Any main?
You go to any library.
Oh, John Grisham.
Go to the library. You go to any book. Hopefully, people go to their local bookstore. They could get the book there. And if they can't afford it, they could contact me.
Well, I'm stealing this one, so it's mine. Chico went and got it for me. No, this is Chico. That was making a joke. So, thanks for joining me today, and we're going to do another 3-person panel, and I'll see you later next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.